All right, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our live stream. My name is Kelvin G. I'm the Vice President of Tesla Owners of Silicon Valley. And we're here to talk about wheels. But before we do, I want to bring in my co-host, and that is Ted Morena. Hey, there you
Hey,
are.
everybody. How you
Yes.
doing?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us, Ted. For those who
Yeah,
don't know,
excited to be here.
yeah, Ted is our Chief Product Officer at Tesla Owners of Silicon Valley, and he does a lot of product reviews, all things Tesla items, right? Accessories, you've done tires, you've done wheels. So maybe a few seconds about yourself, Ted.
Yeah. So as Kelvin mentioned, I am providing a bunch of different content for the Tesla Owners group. I am in tech here in the Bay Area, and the passions that I have are tech, marketing, and cars. And this is sort of awesome for me to, help and contribute to the group, share, educate, and you may see the reviews under the Trust Ted label. So have been doing them for several years, and really look forward to doing them. And I'm really excited to have this conversation with Drew because, as you know, I have his wheels and just really I think the world of them.
Yeah. So let's just bring in our special guest.
How's it going,
Hey,
guys?
hey, there he is, the man
Hey,
of the
Drew.
hour. Hey,
Good
thanks
to,
for
good to
joining
see
us.
you. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so for those on the live stream who don't know, this is Drew Peterson. He's the founder, CEO of Martian Wheels, and we're going to get into it a little bit. But first, maybe a little bit about yourself. Where are you based, Drew?
So yeah, we're in Denver area, and been living here for about 5 years or so. Right around the time we started Martian Wheels, actually moved back to Colorado. I spent some time here previously, but then since basically late 2019, been Denver based.
All right, terrific. All right, well, welcome to our live stream again. How this is gonna work is we're gonna do a tag team thing. We have some questions that we've prepared for you. I think our audience will be highly interested in hearing the answers to some of these questions. So we're gonna kick things off. We're gonna start with just some of your background. So can you share a little bit about your background? What led you to start Martian Wheels?
Yeah. So really, I've been a car guy slash, enthusiast of really anything that moves since a pretty young age. So probably all started when I got a motorcycle when I was 8. And just downhill from there. But so, I've always been interested in that field, and then once I got into my career, it was in the automotive industry. So did a lot of different things, but as things transpired, ended up working for a company that did aftermarket parts online. In the sort of BMW high performance and racing industry. And that was the last job I had working for someone else when I saw the Tesla revolution happening. This was like 2016, 2017 or so. The Model 3 was announced, and then was, keeping tabs on that. And, electric cars have always been interesting to me. I mean, I've kind of just been an engineering enthusiast, from the get-go. So any way of making a vehicle move and the engineering behind it, I've always found fascinating. And so to see a really good, viable, especially performance electric car coming into the market was super exciting. So at the time, it wasn't really widely known or accepted that was going to be such a big thing. But I sure thought so. So yeah, pretty much started to make plans on starting my own company, which is something I wanted to do anyway. But then the vision became clear, what I wanted to do. So yeah, luckily a lot of contacts in the auto industry and on the manufacturing side, and just a lot of hard work, and all the things that you need to learn when you first start a business and running it. Yeah, so got that all going in 2019 technically, and then into 2020 with all the craziness and people sitting at home on their computers, gave us a little bit of an opportunity to get in front of more eyes than maybe we otherwise would have, and yeah, just really started to take off. So yeah, that's more or less the origin story.
I love the fact that you got a motorcycle when you're 8. Kids at 8 used to get Legos, and you got a motorcycle. That's wild.
Oh man, it's awesome.
I was a lucky kid.
Yeah. So Drew, what was the inspiration behind the name Martian Wheels?
Yeah, I mean, when you create something, you gotta name it, and I really wanted to get beyond that stage, but and just get a name and move forward. But then in thinking about that, I mean, really, and going back to my just enthusiasm for especially high quality top level engineering, and where the sort of the cutting edge is. I mean,
you were thinking alien tech.
pretty much. Yeah. Slash, Elon, but he's an alien too, right? And so, that greater vision for, that Elon has, and what they're really, making headway on, that all lined up. And so, maybe at some point we'll actually have Martian Wheels products on Mars.
Yeah, on a Mars rover, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Cool. So what gap in the market did you see when you launched Martian Wheels? I mean, there's other wheel brands and companies out there, right? So, what makes your brand stand out?
Yeah, I mean, back, especially 6 years ago, the whole aftermarket for Tesla was much smaller, and really there were only a couple players, and what they were offering was fine, but there's always ways to improve. And so especially and the way that we started was, okay, let's make the highest quality wheels that we could possibly make at a reasonable price. And so luckily that was possible. And so, yeah, so we're making forged wheels of different sizes also that Tesla doesn't offer, and just much higher quality than anything that really Tesla and any other automatic OEM automaker puts on their vehicles from the factory, with exception of very high-end supercars and things like that. So yeah, that's the main thing that we saw is, okay, so these vehicles are great, but each component that you put on the vehicle adds up to the total cost, and they have to cut costs everywhere they can. And that's one area where automakers typically choose to give you the cheapest possible thing that they can in the wheels. So that being such a critical component of what vehicles do, the rotating mass and what that does for you as you reduce the weight that's on each corner of the vehicle, and also spinning, it really makes a very big improvement to how the vehicle can perform. And so yeah, that was the clear path forward.
Yeah, and so Drew, I know what makes Martian Wheels unique versus some other brands. It's why I actually have them on both my Model Y and my Model S. But do you want to like maybe go to the next level of discussion with what you just touched on, like the fact that they're lighter and the benefits behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, one of the big things that I think brings most people into even looking for aftermarket wheels in the first place is unfortunately some situation that causes their vehicle to become undrivable. So it's pretty common to see, especially in the larger wheels, like what come on the Performance 3 and Y, Plaid 21s, and so on, where that combination of a heavy vehicle, a large wheel with a low profile tire, which just doesn't give you that much give, and basically we see a lot of broken wheels. So it was clear that that situation doesn't work too well, and so strength is really important. So in order to create wheels that are both strong and light, you need to really push what's possible. And so so that's why we have tried to make the best possible wheels that we can. And then what does that actually mean when you say, okay, so you have lighter wheels, how does that help you?
Yeah.
We all love the acceleration that these cars are capable of, but put lighter wheels on it and it can get even better. And luckily, unlike some things that you could change on like a gas vehicle where there's some big downside, when you go lighter wheels, especially in our case that are also stronger, it's all benefit. So not only are you increasing acceleration, but you're helping the car to be able to brake and use its ABS system more effectively, and in a lot of cases can make the car more efficient also. So it's kind of a win-win-win where you just improve everything that the car does with basically one change.
So that's great. Can you walk us maybe through the design and manufacturing process that makes Martian Wheels unique? Because that is a unique combination, like you said. So what's the secret sauce, if you will, behind the design and the manufacturing process allows you to do what you guys do?
Yep. So I guess I'll give just sort of a brief sort of explanation of the three main manufacturing methods of aluminum wheels, because everything we're talking about here are aluminum, but what most of the wheels that Tesla puts on their cars from the factory, and very pretty much most other OEMs, that cheapest level tier are cast wheels. So that's basically taking molten aluminum and just pouring it into a mold. And so ultimately that is the simplest way to make wheels, the least expensive, but it ends up with a ultimately the heaviest and the weakest wheel due to porosity in the material itself. So it's a good solution when cost is your number one priority. But yeah, you end up with a wheel that's very heavy and doesn't have a lot of strength to show for it. So that's the bottom tier. The mid tier is more or less taking that cast wheel, but then what they call flow forming, which is for the barrel of the wheel, which is, if you think about, where the tire sits on the outside, doing what, is basically called a light forging, which is why, you see some wheel companies that use the term flow forging, although it's a little bit of a play on words and I think slightly deceiving. But ultimately, that makes the barrel of the wheel stronger and lighter than a cast wheel, and it does so much of a difference that it really is its own category. And so that isn't something that we've done traditionally since we started, but in this last year we finally offered flow formed wheels, and so you can have something that's significantly lighter and stronger than the stock wheels, but not at a really high cost. So in fact, our flow formed wheels are less expensive, lighter, stronger, just really better in every way. The next tier, the highest tier for aluminum wheels is forged, like I was mentioning. So that's where you take a block of aluminum and basically compress it into the rough shape of a wheel with huge pressure and heat. So the forging machines that are used to do this are, the size of a 2-story building and cost, multi-millions of dollars. So that adds to the reason why they're also the most expensive. But what happens then is you create a material that is completely free of any variance of any of those air pockets, essentially, that could happen with casting, and create a much more dense material that you can then, which is ultimately stronger, and then you can remove a lot more material. So that is the lightest and strongest.
Yeah, I'm glad you covered that, because a lot of people hear the term forged wheels and they don't really know what it is. So thanks for walking us through that process. It's helpful.
No problem.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Drew, so you offer both the fully forged wheel and the flow forged, if you will, the mid and the higher end tier.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
All right, great. Hey, I appreciate that education. I think that's super important. And I know when I was looking and ran into a discussion with you, like getting that story. And I actually remember when I put a video together for the Tesla Owner Silicon Valley, I actually, talk about exactly what you said. So I think it's great to educate folks.
Nice.
So maybe you could speak a little bit now towards the performance, like how do the wheels enhance the performance, right? I think that's a topic that some people are going to be interested in.
Yeah, for sure. And there's certainly this trend of basically bigger wheels, and whether it's directly or indirectly, alluded to, that the bigger wheel is the one that is the more performance oriented wheel, and that is not necessarily true. It's more untrue because really the weight. Well, so here I'll do an analogy which gives people maybe the best way of understanding this, of a figure skater. So when you think about a figure skater out there on the ice doing a really fast spin, they will want to bring their arms inward when they want to spin fast, and you'll see they'll actually put their arms out when they want to slow down, and that's centrifugal force. So when a car is trying to accelerate, to have the weight as close to the center as possible actually allows more power to go to the ground, essentially. So, on top of reducing the overall weight, you're also having that advantage of pulling the weight towards the center, and allowing the car to accelerate faster. So that's a really big thing that we see, is a lot of people going from the big 21s on a Model Y Performance, for instance, down to at least 20s, or a lot of times 19s or even 18s. But that provides huge performance benefits in a straight line.
And it also, and I'll add, because that's what I did, right? My Model Y had 21-inch. I went down to 20-inch. And, you know, I noticed that the efficiency actually improved. You know, it's not like a super scientific, you know, result or whatever, but it was, you know, somewhere like between 3 to 5%, you know, in that kind of a range by going down a size, and because your wheels are lighter than the stock wheels. So again, I was trying to get into, I saw someone in the comments just asked about range increase. That's why I made that comment. And you know, it would be cool to see if there's a link, or maybe we could put the link up to the video that I made on Martian. They could look at that for further info.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe the one picture we have of the new Model 3 Performance on our black, there we go, MW08 wheels is a good example. This is one particular instance where we saw a huge range increase. 13.5% was the gain.
Huge.
In this case. So that's that's a pretty extreme example, because what we're talking about also is changing the size from the you know, so the new Model 3 Performance comes with 20-inch wheels.
20-inch wheels, yeah.
They're 20x9 in the front, 20x10 in the rear. And so what we did here is go with basically the long range, or, you know, standard range spec of 18x8.5 with the OEM, I think Kumho, Hankook tires in this case. So yeah, there's other variables that you can play with when you're doing a wheel change. And yeah, so 13.5% is absolutely massive in this case.
Yes, that's huge. Let's get into the actual products now, since you know, we talked a little bit about the design process and your manufacturing process. Since now everyone got a sneak peek into some of your wheel designs. Did you have a favorite wheel or model that you've worked on? You have several wheels you designed for all the models for Tesla. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, we have wheels for all Tesla models. So yeah, favorite. So yeah, I mean, coming from the motorsports aspect, I would say probably MW05, and you know, a very wide size that isn't quite so efficiency focused, but does help to really improve the handling of the car. That I've used to good effect for things like racing in Model 3 Challenge, and doing other types of time trials and autocross racing and things like that, where it's really fun to go out and show people what electric cars can do. And so yeah, I've actually taken several championships. We've got the Colorado Time Trials series around here, and then yeah, got another shot as well of us going through Laguna Seca with Model 3 Challenge. That was yeah, a really fun series to be a part of. And so yeah, that'd be my answer to that.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know if maybe we can throw up the website real quick. And the MW05 is under the Model 3 section, right? Under wheels.
So if you basically choose any model then you, or any model Tesla, then you'll see the wheels there. Yeah, there we go. So yep.
Yeah.
There's 05, just a very you know, optimized for strength and weight wheel, just very traditional, classic 5-spoke, split 5-spoke design, and yeah, really light, really light.
Yeah. Those are
I
great.
love them. I have them on my S, and I just love it. And the other thing, and I have the MW05s or the 03, I think it is on the left there, the 9-spoke, my Y. I actually, for both my vehicles, I chose to, and Drew, I really appreciate you bringing this up. Like, you know, you basically had said, hey, you don't have to just go with the same size, right? Not only can you go down, but I actually put the same width on the front and back because I wanted to rotate the tires. Like, that's one thing that always drove me nuts. With like I remember my wife's BMW used to have a bigger tire in the back than the front, and then, you know, you're always just wearing out one or the other, and because you're not able to rotate them and get some additional life out of the tires. So, you know, that's a great thing to be able to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and whether that means and so actually you've both done this.
Yes.
Whether that means, you know, going smaller, you know, with the same size all around, or basically taking that in the case of a Model S, taking that rear size, which is wider, and using that all around, depending on, you know, if we determine that that's possible or not, given the amount of space you have. Yeah, that works out great. So yeah, Ted, you've gone with the slightly more you know, efficiency focused, and you know, yeah, probably slightly better riding with the smaller wheel, and then
It's more comfortable. The
sort of performance spec 20 by 10.5 all around, and yeah, that's got to feel great.
Yeah, and the great thing is you know, we both relied on your expertise, Drew, in terms of recommendations on size, fit, and tires. So that's the other thing that I can attest to, is just that personal commitment to making sure the best wheel design, best tire combination is recommended. So I do appreciate that customer service that you provide. But yeah, I have a Model S Plaid. I had a 19-inch factory setup. And while it's not a problem with the 19-inch, it's certainly a problem with the 21-inch, that you get the rear wheel, rear tire wear. And so I wanted to go up to something bigger. So I decided to go with the 20-inch square setup. And again, you helped me out a lot there. And I did go with the MW03 design, only because I like the, again, shout out to you and your design team. But I really like the Roadster wheel, and of course, the Roadster's not coming out anytime soon.
Well, you don't know. They might announce it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to simulate the Roadster experience, and you guys have this lovely Roadster design. So.
I know. Yeah. And I know we just talked about it and we pulled the website up, but Drew, maybe you could just talk about all the vehicles, all the Tesla models that you offer wheels for, but also, you know, anything else.
For sure. Yeah. So basically within our forged wheels, which are MW03 and MW05 that you guys have, those are available for all Tesla models minus Cybertruck, because Cybertruck being much heavier, you just need to design a wheel really specifically for Cybertruck. And so for Cybertruck, we decided to do basically the most aggressive possible wheel that you can for a vehicle that is capable of going off road. So also forged, but a beadlock wheel, and so essentially what that is on the outside lip of the vehicle, of the wheel, you have a ring that will grab the tire, and so you can take the tire pressure down really low, which is great for traction on dirt and rocks and things like that. and yeah, the tire isn't going to slip off the rim. So yeah, so that's Cyber Rover, and we've had a lot of fun testing and developing those, and have quite a lot of those wheels coming for this summer season. And yeah, so that's forged, and then we've got MW08, which has really become our most popular, which makes sense because it's roughly half the cost of our forged wheels, and that is available now for Model 3, Model Y, and Model S.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe we can throw up the website again for those who want to take a look. You guys have heavily stocked up, I think, on the MW08s, right? So you're kind of betting big that this is going to be a popular seller. The MW08s, kind of like your newer design, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, that's the newest design, and really, it's been a challenge to. Well, there's been a lot of challenges, but
that one,
to keep up with demand, and so with all the changes and optimization that we've been able to do throughout the company, this wheel should now always be in stock, depending on the color and things like that. Worst case scenario, we're having a few week lead time for just about anything. So that's super important, especially for this wheel, which is going to be out there in pretty big numbers. People need to know, like, am I going to be able to get a replacement quickly? So yeah, so we should be able to get wheels to people very, very fast now.
Yeah, no, it'd be great to just sort of show. There was a request just to show the Tesla with some of the wheels. So this is the MW05 on my Model S, right?
Yep.
And I think if there was Drew, you had sent some other pictures as well. So whatever, maybe when you get a chance, you can take a look at those, just so people. A couple of folks have commented, hey, they'd really like to see what it looks like on Tesla. So there you go.
So that's super super common question as well. And we haven't had a really great like photo gallery yet of the new models because it takes a little bit of time for people to start getting their wheels, and then we get a lot of customer photos that come in. So now we've built up enough to where it's worth putting a gallery on the website, and so that will be active very soon. We're
great
putting that together right now, so maybe within the week.
See, breaking news. That's why you come to the live stream.
Let's talk about some of the designs, because wheel designs is so subjective. So can you talk to us about the artistic inspiration behind some of your wheel designs?
Yeah, for sure. It is so subjective, and at the end of the day, you need to you got to ship a product, right? So it's like you can't keep working on a design infinitely, because then you'll never have anything to provide to anybody. So yeah, it's like have a goal, a general direction that you want to go for a wheel based on something else that you like, but then beyond that, I wish I had like a great way to really say that I design things or something, but because
you don't have like some artistic motivation, or is it just stuff you see on a day-to-day basis, or like just curious? Because the designs are great. I love them.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I'm glad you like them. Basically, inspiration could come at any time, and so being open to that is probably the biggest the biggest thing. So I'm just always looking, at designs of not just wheels, but cars and wheels, and the way that you can have a great design for for a car or for a wheel, but that combination might not work too well. And so yeah, there's just something that you almost can't put into words of like, okay, that combination of car and wheel just really, really works. And then beyond that, then you can start to play around with the sizing a little bit, and then most people should be able to find what they think looks good within a wheel design.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have a follow-up question with that, and then we can move on to maybe industry trends and stuff like that that can lead. But have you gotten any feedback from Tesla owners that will help shape the future of some of your designs?
Oh yeah, for sure. Probably one of the most common, or at least most common now, so industry trend that seems to be growing is aerodynamic looking wheels. But it's it's really true that you can also increase efficiency with an aerodynamic wheel. So that has that that nice benefit there. But people are actually going for it from the looks perspective, which I feel like has really changed in the last couple years, where something like the new Rivian 22-inch, I believe, very aerodynamic looking wheel. You basically don't see any spokes. It's all very flat and plain looking. Seems to have gotten great feedback. So that trend growing on top of just very specific requests to make either more aerodynamic wheels or some sort of a cover that people can put on for road trips is something that we're working on.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, like, if there's something new that you're working on. Obviously, the MW08s are pretty recent. Other than what you had just mentioned, is there anything else, whether it's for Tesla or other vehicles?
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, always have a good handful of projects ongoing, and yeah, new stuff in the hopper, so to speak. So yeah, good 2-3 wheel designs that however things end up looking for the rest of the year will be announced. And then yeah, the aero cover project is it's surprisingly difficult to do that.
Sure.
And especially not being a car company or large OEM, it's yeah, it's there's a big commitment there. So but yeah, we're going for it. So yeah, we'll be releasing new stuff, couple new things soon, and then yeah, some of the bigger stuff going into the summer.
Yeah, wheel covers is all of a sudden a thing now, right? I mean, wheel covers historically, wheel covers have always been kind of these ugly things that you have to put on out of necessity.
Right.
But
Cover up an ugly wheel, kind of.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's really true. I mean, we're talking 3% or so, on the efficiency side.
You mean for like highway mainly?
And at highway speeds, yes.
Yeah. Just to caveat that, yeah.
Because that is, that's where the question's always hard to answer. Like, okay, which wheels will increase my range? It's like, well, increase from what? And what wheels do you have on now, and so on. And then how do you drive? Where do you drive? Things like that all come into play. Because if you live in the city, you're probably best off with MW05s, and just getting the lightest possible wheel that really takes doesn't take aerodynamics into account at all, and that'll be the best option. And but then for somebody who's sitting on the highway, doing big mileage, road tripping, things like that, the weight part starts to be less important, and it becomes mostly about aerodynamics.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give car enthusiasts looking to upgrade their wheels?
Ask us any questions you might have, because the details matter. So, the size differences that we've talked about, and then recommendations on tires for your specific use case, will end up getting you the best result for what you're trying to achieve. So, yeah, I would say do a bit of research, and we're that guidance that we provided you guys is available to all of our customers. So just feel free to ask us any questions you have.
Yeah, that's great. You guys are a small company, and that level of personal service, you never know. Sometimes you send an email into a box, and it goes into a black box, you think, and you may not hear back, but you guys do respond. And so you have that attention to detail and that personal service that I think everyone's looking for. So
thanks. Yeah, that's something we've really tried to do. I mean, I'm frustrated too when I have to talk to a company, reach out about an order issue, or just try to get to the person who really knows the product at all, even is tough sometimes. But you can call us, and very likely someone will pick right up, and if not, they'll call you right back. But you can get someone on the phone who actually knows our stuff and can provide good guidance.
Nice. And I just had another question, and this is like, I'm assuming I know what the answer is, but whether someone picks like a gloss black or more of a silver, or even the bronze kind of color, they all they're all as durable, right? Or is there an advantage of any particular color for some reason that may not be common to know?
Good question. I mean, I guess our silver, because it's the only gloss that we offer, so it has a very, very, very slightly thicker top coat. Could be our most durable, but that's really, really small differences, and pretty much they're all going to be the same. What matters is the paint process, and so you can certainly take shortcuts there, and you'll see it, maybe even within your first drive, if you're in a rocky area or something like that, where you can get chips really easily. But all of our paint seem to perform pretty much the same, and is a 3-part process that is more robust than maybe it needs to be for longevity.
I have a follow-up question to that, and it's kind of off the cuff based on what you and Ted said. As you probably know, a lot of Tesla owners end up curbing their wheels.
Really?
Yeah, shocking.
Shocking. Yeah,
never heard that before,
right? So maybe dumb question or not so dumb question. Your wheels are obviously, they're nice. They're a premium upgrade. How do you handle that for customers who might have accidentally curbed their Martian wheels?
So it goes along a little bit with what's your goal, and so that's where let's say Model Y Performance, for instance. Those wheels are, I mean, they're like, you can curb them just parked, like just sitting there. Like they're so easy to curb. It's basically the most curbable wheels that have ever been made.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
speaking of experience, yeah.
Experience, yeah. And so, you know, that's most of that is due to the tire and rim width relationship. So you've got a really stretched tire, stretch meaning you've got, you know, a narrow tire that's trying to be pulled onto a wider rim. And so, yeah, so there's no tire to protect you. Traditionally, that type of a situation wasn't really a big problem. But there are some advantages to doing that with the way the car feels and with efficiency. So I do think that we're going to see that trend continue of a really hard stretch of that tire and rims being very, very easily curbable. But you can change that with wheel and tire sizing. So a lot of times people will take their stock tires, but put them on a slightly narrower rim, narrower wheel. And basically what that's doing is pulling the rim away from, you know, if this is the outside, pulling it away from the curb, and then you still have the tire to brush up against something like a curb or something. So you know, we do some pretty aggressive setups for people that want to take like their Model Ys, for instance, you know, off-roading. We can go down all the way to 18s and put a big tire on them. You can't curb those. You can drive on curbs. So take the same vehicle that otherwise you're super nervous to you know, even go into some tight parking garage, and now you can actually take it on off-road trails and things like that. So wheels and tires make a huge difference.
Great. Thanks. Yeah. Ted, you want to take us home?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, before we sort of wrap up here, Drew, I mean, we've covered a lot of territory. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience?
So yeah, I mean, I guess the things that we're announcing in the future will be pretty cool. So
we'll have to do another live stream, and then you can announce them live.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. do one, and I'll actually have products with me. So pretty much, you know, if people are watching this and they want to reach out to us, they can do so on the website martianwheels.com, and right at the bottom of the front page, you'll see a place to plug in your email, and that's where you'll get announcements of these things we're talking about. So on top of that, on, you know, social media and yeah, which we're getting better at, and so we'll post those things as well. But yeah, otherwise, I think we've covered the main points.
Where can people find and purchase Martian Wheels? Is it exclusively on your website, or are they available through resellers? Or
we do have some resellers, although, you know, really the whole thing that we've been doing has been yeah, just direct to our website. So yeah, we've played around a little bit with putting things elsewhere, but, you know, kind of any other platform has, you know, their own rules or, you know, fees or something like that, you know, the most efficient way and part of how we can offer such a high quality product for the prices that we do is because we keep it all in-house. So yeah, direct to martianwheels.com.
All right, terrific. Well, thank you so much for your time, Drew. Always always up for talking about wheels and new wheel designs and the forge and unforge and all that. Looking forward to the future updates in your product roadmap. Love to see what you're cooking and what's going to come out of the factory. And so thanks for taking the time to talk shop with us, and we look forward to future stuff coming out.
Absolutely. Well, thanks guys. Really appreciate it. And
appreciate the education.
Yeah, totally. And big thank you to all of our customers who have helped us get here. And we just hope to be providing even more value for them as we go on.
All right, well, terrific. So for everyone on the live stream, just check out Martian Wheels at martianwheels.com. And again, this is Drew Peterson, CEO and founder. So thanks again for your time, Drew.
Thanks, guys.